Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to Wisdom International School's digital classroom for mathematics. So children, we are going to learn a new chapter today, that is the direct and inverse proportions. So it's a very simple, easy chapter. Okay. So now we have to first figure out what do you mean by a direct proportion or a inverse proportion. Okay. So when I talk about two things, two events occurring, let us say let's say you study more. As you study, if you work hard, you get more marks, right? So you get good marks in your exam. So you know what's happening here, you put on more effort, you get more marks, right? So that is as you increase your work hard working the thing ability, your marks obtained also is getting more, you're getting more marks, right? The same way, if you work less, you get less marks, right? So it's as you increase the work hard thing, the studying hours or whatever, you get more marks. So when you increase something, you get more, and when if you decrease something, you get less. So that is called as the direct proportion. Okay. So here you see, when something increases, the result also increases. If something decreases, the result also decreases. So that comes under the direct proportion. Okay. When it's the other way around, you do more of it and you get less, the result is less, it's the inverse. That's called as the inverse proportion. So while explain it with the example. Now you see here, it says if the number of article purchased increases, the total cost also increases. See, now you're taking more, you're buying more things, you have to pay more, right? The cost also is more. So this is, both are increasing together. So this comes under a direct proportion. Okay. Now if you're buying less number, your cost also goes down. So it either increases together or decreases together. They are called as direct proportions. Okay. Now you see, more the money deposited in the bank, more is the interest earned. So you have something called as interest in interest system in the bank, right? For the money which you are depositing, you will get a particular amount given to you. That will be the extra amount. It's not what you have deposited, it's the extra amount the bank gives you after a certain number of years, right? So that's called as the interest. Okay. So money, if you are depositing more money, the interest also will be more. If you are depositing less money, the interest is also less. So this is also direct. Okay. Now you see the next one. This is direct. Okay. I'll just write D for this. Yeah. Now, as the speed of the vehicle increases, the time taken to cover the same distance decreases. So now let's say you're going on some trip. If your speed increases, if you're just driving it with the very good speed, okay, what happens, you will reach the destination quicker, right? So the distance covered, the time what you are taking is going to be less. See, if you go slowly, you're going to take a long time to go. So you see, speed, as you increase the speed, the time taken goes down. So it's the other way around. See, when you are increasing something, the other one decreases, and the same way goes for the other things. Like if you decrease the speed, the time increases, right? So this is a case of inverse. Okay. So that is when one increases, the other one, the result decreases, or when you are decreasing the speed, the result actually increases, the time actually increases. So this is the case of an inverse proportion. Now you look at the next one. For a given job, more the number of workers, less will be the time taken to complete the work. So let me say that I'm giving you some work, okay, some project work to complete to the whole class. If I give it to the whole class, everybody, one particular project, everyone will do little bit of the things, like one will do drawing, the other one will be doing the sticking work or whatever it is. Okay. So when more people are involved in that particular project, the project will get over quickly, right? If only one student does the whole thing, it's going to take a long time. So you put in more workers. When number of workers increases, number of students who are working on a project increase, the time taken to complete the project will get over faster. I mean, it will be lesser, right? So this is also a inverse. So now I hope you understood what the direct proportion and what the inverse proportion actually means, right? Okay, so now we will come to the direct proportion. Now we are going to solve problems based on direct proportion. Okay, so let us say x and y are in direct proportion. That means when x increases, y also increases. When x decreases, y also decreases. Okay, so what you mean is you will say that x and y are in direct proportion. So usually they use this sign for proportional, this kind of a sign. Okay, like a wrong, like how the teachers give you wrong, like that. Okay, so x is directly proportional to y. This is what it means when I say x and y are in direct proportion. X is directly proportional to y. So if I want to make it as a is equals to, because with this kind of a mark we can't do anything, right? We have to put an is equals to sign. So if I put an is equals to sign, I will have x is equals to y. But then you can't just change this to this simply. You will have to introduce some value k. So let me put a k over here. This is your constant of proportionality, okay, or a proportionality constant. Okay, so this k is some number. In depending upon a problem, this k can be any number. Actually, we have to find the k. Usually we get to find the k. Okay, so now this is how the problem is. See, that's what they have written, x equals to ky. Or if you want to write the y at the bottom, you will write x by y is equals to k. So that's how they have got this. Okay, so when I say x is directly proportional, x and y are in direct proportion, I will say that x is this particular symbol y. So, and how do I read it? X is directly proportional to y. That's how it is read. Okay, x is directly proportional to y. Okay, so now let's come to the problem. So now I'm going to randomly pick few problems in your exercise 4.1. It's very simple. Okay, it's based on the same formula. You can just solve this quickly. So you see, it says a mixture of paint is prepared by mixing 1 part of red pigment with 8 part of base. So that's been given in the table. See, 1 part of the red pigment with 8 part of the base. Okay, now find the parts of the base that needed to be added. So now you have to similarly add these things. Okay, find the dash ones over there. So now you see, you can write it down. The simplest way to do is, you have 1 and 8, you write 1 by 8 is equals to 4 by, let us say this is x. Okay, the blank space I will take it as x. Let me say this is x. So you just cross multiply now. So 1 into x is equals to 4 into 8. So x is equals to 32. So you will get 32 here. Now I have the 7. I will do the same way. 1 by 8 is equals to 7 by y. So similarly cross multiplication. So 1 into y equal to 7 into 8. So y is 56. So you get 56 here. Then you say 1 by 8 equals to 12 by something. Let me say, I've just taken A, B, C, D or X, Y, whatever alphabet I want, I can just give it. So here I've taken A. So now 1 into A equals 12 into 8, which is 96. So this is 96. Then 1 by 8 equals to 20 by B. So 1 into B equals 20 by 8, which is equals to 8 equals to 160. So you get 160. Okay. So that's how you do it. Now you come to the next question, fourth question. A machine in a soft drink factory fills 840 bottles in 6 hours. How many bottles will it fill in 5 hours? So you see, when you have this kind of a problem, it says that a machine, see, you can, I'll teach you this table form. That's the best, easier method. They are talking about filling the bottles and the time, right? So they are talking about the bottles and the time. So I have made a table for bottles and time. Now I just have to place the things under the category. It says 840 bottles. So I write 840 under the bottles thing. Okay. In 6 hours. So it takes time 6 hours. So if for 840 it is 6 hours. So I just next to the 840 I write 6 under the time column. Okay. Then they are talking about how many bottles will be filled. So we don't know how many bottles. So under the bottles you write X because we don't know what X is. And time is 5 hours they have given. So you take 5 over here. For X you have to take 5 hours. So for 5 hours, how many bottles? This is the question mark thing. Okay. So I put the X over there. Now you write down the, you can write down as it is. So you can say 840 by X equals 6 by 5. So you cross multiply this. Okay. So, or here itself you can cross multiply also. So you get 6 into X equals to 840 into 5. So yeah, that's what I've written over here. So X equals to, bring the 6 at the bottom. So now you have 1. You can simplify this. See, 6 and 840 can get cancelled over here. So this is getting cancelled. 6 and this will also get cancelled. See, 6 ones are 6, so 2 is left, 6 fours are 24, and then 0. So this is how you get 140. Okay, so now you get 140 into 5, which is equals to 700. This is the multiplication you have to do. So in 6 hours, in 5 hours, 700 bottles will be filled. Sorry, this is not 6 hours, this is 5 hours over here. In 6 hours it's 840, in 5 hours it is 700. Okay. Yeah. So now come to the next one. Question number 7. It says, suppose 2 kgs of sugar contains so many crystals. Okay, 9 into 10 to the power of 6 crystals. So here see, it's talking about the sugar and the crystals present in them. So I'll write it sugar, and that's in kgs, and number of crystals present over here. So I make the column again. Now they are asking you, so first whatever is given we write it, 2 kg of sugar. So I write 2 below the sugar column and 9 into 10 to the power of 6 below the crystal column. Then they are asking you how many sugar crystals are there. So you put x in below the crystal because they are asking how many sugar crystals. So x below the sugar crystal, and the first one says 5 kg. So put 5 over here. So now again you can just cross multiply. So you can just write it like this: 2 by 5 equals 9 into 10 to the power of 6 divided by x. Okay, so you multiply it, so you get 2 into x is equals to 5 into 9 into 10 to the power of 6. So you get x equals to, you bring the 2 at the bottom. Now you see 5 into 9 is 45, and 45 divided by 2 is, you are getting 22.5. So this will give you 22.5. Into 10 to the power of 6, we keep it as it is. Now in standard form if you want to write, you will bring the decimal point over here. So that has to increase the 6 over one number. Well, you are just shifting one decimal point, right? So the number of tens on the exponent on top of 10 also increases by 1. So when you are shifting this, it becomes 2.25 into 10 to the power of 7 instead of 10 to the power of 6. This is the answer. Similarly, you do the second part of it for 1.2 kg of sugar. Okay. Then come to this question. It says, a loaded truck travels 14 kilometers in 25 minutes. So here it's talking about the distance. 14 kilometers is nothing but the distance. So distance and time. 25 minutes is the time. So it's talking about distance and time. So I have made the table for distance and time. If so, here it says 14 kilometer in 25 minutes. So now if the speed remains the same, how far can it travel in 5 hours? So now you see this, you have to be careful with one thing over here. Here talking about 14 kilometers, so that's fine. But this is talking about 25 minutes, not hours. But they are asking you 5 hours. So you can't just put 5 over here. Okay, you will have to write the answer in minutes over here. If you put 5, it's not right. This means that, if you just put 5, it means how much it will travel in 5 minutes. But it's not asking about 5 minutes. It's asking about 5 hours. So we have to convert it into hours. We know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. So 5 hours will be 5 into 60 minutes. So here instead of writing 5, you will write 5 into 60. Okay. So now you cross multiply. So it will be like this. 14 by x is equals to 25 by 5 into 60. Okay. Now you can cross multiply. So you will get 25 into x over here and 14 into 5 into 60 over here on this side. Okay. So now you can bring the 25 at the bottom. Then you can just simply do the calculation. So here you see the 5 gets cancelled. 5 5s are 25, right? And then the 5 also gets cancelled. 5 12s are 16. So you get 14 into 12 over here. Okay. And then it is 14 into 12 is 168 kilometers. So in 5 hours it will travel 168 kilometers. Okay. So that is how you do it. Okay. So this whole problem is based on this. So I hope you understood the table method. That's the simpler, easier method, and you will there are less chances of making mistakes. So just follow this method and complete this exercise 4.1 in your classwork. Okay. I will see you with the next next video, inshallah. Allah Hafiz. Thank you.